Just want to start off again by thanking unbelievable crowd from the jump, the skull session, the walk, the beginning of the game, all the way to the end. You know, there was a lot of people hung around at the end of that game, and we don't take that for granted. So really appreciate Buckeye Nation and all the people who were here today.
Okay, we'll open up over here on the left. Over on the right, Cam Teague Robinson from The Athletic.
Ryan, just on the corners, I know you're really depleted there.
Yeah.
Just your thoughts on the young guys who played, and then also kind of touch on the injuries of Denzel and Cam.
Yeah, again, you know, we're not expecting those to be long-term things, but not having those guys in there and their experience, you know, was a concern going into the game. But Jair and JK have been practicing. They practiced really hard all spring. They practiced all preseason. They've been out there, and you know, we told them right before the game that everybody in the team believes in them, and we do. And they have no fear, and they went out there and played, and they did a really good job. I mean, I don't know what the film's going to show, but I know they competed, and I thought Tim Walton did a really good job getting them ready. And I'm proud of those guys to be able to win a conference game with them in there. Both really, I guess that's their first start each.
Over to the left, Lori Schmidt, Columbus Dispatch.
Coach, what's the key to getting two running backs going the way you had them going tonight?
Well, I think it's just the mentality of we know how long of a season this is going to be. And when you have two guys that you can go back and forth, who are unselfish, who understand what it means to be a team, that's the key. You know, if it starts to become like, what are my carries, what are my touchdowns, what are my runs, then it doesn't work. But Travion and Mayan both have been excellent. Travion's energy before the game was off the chart. You could just feel it. I mean, I felt it in warm-ups. I felt it in the locker room. I felt it coming out of the locker room. And then he ran that way. He just ran hard. He ran physical. He ran with energy. And so did Mayan. Mayan ran hard. So I think we got something good going in that room. You know, and you saw Dallin even run at the end. I thought he was running well. But hats off to the offensive line and the tight ends. I thought they really moved the line of scrimmage today against a good defense.
Over to the right, Dylan Davis, Delaware Gazette.
When you're talking about being balanced offensively, is that about as close to perfection as you can get as far as being balanced goes on offense?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I thought that the balance was solid. You know, we're a no-huddle team, you know, and Wisconsin huddles a lot. So for us to kind of control the time of possession the way that we did, and I think we were up 21 points at one point. I think we had a 6 or 7 minute drive, and we kicked the field goal, but it turned into a 4-possession game, and we ate up a lot of clock in that drive. And I felt like that was a really good drive for us, even though maybe over the years, you know, we expect to score touchdowns at a faster clip. But when you're in these types of games, you have to think that through. And I thought that was good. But I thought the tempo and the mix of run and pass today is what we're looking for, yes.
Over to the left, Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch.
Ryan, you got pretty animated after the defensive holding call. You were riding the official pretty good. How much of that is being upset in the moment, and how much is having the back of your defense wanting to support them?
Yeah, you know, I usually don't talk about that stuff after the game, but yeah, I obviously didn't like what I saw, and I felt like that was a big play, but I also wanted Jair to know that, like, I do have your back, like, you know. Now if it was, you know, egregious, okay, move on, but you know, I want to defend him in that moment. This is a young kid out there in a big stage for the first time, and you know, I hope he felt like, you know, his head coach was backing him up in that moment, because I think it mattered, and I believe what I was fighting for.
Over to the right, Austin Ward, Rivals, 97.1 The Fan.
Ryan, I guess maybe it's a product of how high the standard is that CJ set here, but it didn't feel like he had his best stuff tonight. Is that now what he can do on a off night?
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was really good, you know, in a lot of spots. You know, that's a very good defense, and to throw 5 touchdowns, I mean, he was really good, and we had more out there. Right? The protection broke down on 2 plays in particular that would have been huge plays if we could have executed them better. But I thought the touchdown pass to Emeka was off the charts. I thought some of the other balls were really well done. It's my fault at the end of the half. I'm going to take that. We're up I think it was 4 scores at that point with 45 seconds to go on our inside of our own, I guess, 25. Should have just ran it 3 times, listened to the boos running off the field and moved on, but I didn't. I threw the ball, we got a pick, and then the defense did a great job in sudden change getting a stop right there. And so that's on me. And a couple calls I could have done a better job with. I thought he played good. I thought his energy was good, and you know, throw 5 touchdown passes against Wisconsin. That's a hell of a night.
Deep left, Doug Lesmerises, Cleveland.com.
Ryan, you guys came out first drive, hit 3 chunk plays in the pass game. Seemed like you had them spread out, and then ran it after that. It felt like you were able to make them defend sideline to sideline and then find running gaps. Just beyond the balance, the way you guys did it. What did you think of it?
That's what we're looking for, what you just said, you know, and that's easier said than done, you know, that you want to be able to do that. And when they feel like maybe you're throwing it, then you start running it. When they feel like maybe you're running it, you spread them out a little bit and you try to get that going. And some nights it works and you get into a rhythm. Some nights it doesn't. Tonight I felt like we did get in a rhythm.
Clay Hall, WSYX.
Ryan, you've preached toughness and fight all off season. To handle 2 physical teams like Notre Dame and Wisconsin, to remove all doubt in the first quarter, push them around, dictate the tempo. Do you think you've buried that?
I think we've shown what we can do. Now, whether we do it every week, that's on us. But I think you can see what this team's made of, and I think we've shown that in first 4 games what we can do, what we're capable of. The big challenge, as we all know in college football, is you have to bring it every week, and that's the competitive stamina we've been talking about. Every single week you got to bring it. So as good as this feels, and as much as we want to celebrate this, you know, we can't spend too much time patting ourselves on the back after this thing, which is hard because this is one heck of a win for us. I mean, to play like we did tonight, that was a lot of work, and I'm very, very proud of our team. I'm proud of our players. Proud of the way the defense came in, some of the way the guys stepped up. I mean, there's a lot of good to go around in this game. But the tough thing is, you know, you don't have too much time to talk about that. You got to be on to the next team, and but we'll try to enjoy this the best we can tonight and a little bit tomorrow.
Far left, Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
Ryan, one more about the running backs. You guys have tried in the past to have kind of 2 running backs share the load like that, whether it was 2018 with J.K. and Mike, or you know, Trey and Master in 2020.
Yep.
Why do you think with these 2 guys make it? Why is it working out so well?
I don't know. I mean, I think that. You know, I think our offensive line is doing a good job. I think our tight ends are doing a good job. I think we have the right mix right now, and you know their approach has been excellent. But I think it's probably a combination of them and the offensive line and the tight ends and our running back. I mean, our wide receivers. Our wide receivers are doing a very, very good job. I mean, they're making plays down the field, but they're also blocking and being physical on the perimeter. And I mean, you could see the physical play of Julian Fleming today. I mean, you see the shot Emeka took on that crossing route. I mean, that's tough play, and then he comes back and gets that touchdown pass. So I think you're seeing a physicality across the board, and it isn't just up front. It's everybody.
Time for just a few more. Over to the right, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
A couple quick ones. Could you update Jackson Smith and Jigba's status, and also the job that you did on Braylon Allen? He had the long run at the end, which skewed the stats, but what kind of job do you think you did?
Yeah, I felt like our guys did a great job of gang tackling. There was a couple things that maybe could have squirted out, but we had extra guys come to the party and get him down. You don't have to look to see how many yards after contact he made, but I felt like we did a decent job of getting him on the ground. But he's a big, strong, physical back, and boy, I mean, you can even feel late in the game where, you know, if you get into a close game, they're going to wear you down, and he's like that. So overall, you know, and we decided to take out some of our starters in that moment, and then he hit that long run. So we got to figure out why that happened, but that was on me. I know, you know, Jim would rather have had his starters in there and stop them right there, but I made that call. So I wanted to keep our guys out of the game. We have a couple guys who have been banged up, so made that call, and is what it is.
Over to the left, Patrick.
With Jackson, you know, we decided to kind of shut him down for this game, and you know, we're going to hope we'll kind of get him going on Tuesday, and hopefully we make some progress and get to see him play next week.
Pat Murphy, 24/7 Sports.
Ryan, we saw what Travion could do last year, but when did you know Mayan could be that complementary, that number 2 back, however you want to call it, to Travion, that you could have 2 guys?
I mean, last year we saw it, we've seen it, but in the preseason is when I really started to see just an acceleration of his skill level and his practice habits and his toughness, and just the way he was hitting the holes. I thought he had one of the best preseasons on offense, and now you're starting to see it. But Mayan, even you think back that freshman year, he had, in that Clemson game, he shows up and makes some plays. So Mayan's been making plays since he's been here, and he's strong and he's powerful. He's built low to the ground. He's a changeup from Trey. They have different styles, but the great thing about them is, man, they're pulling for each other, and they know that there's carries to go around. And boy, their attitudes have been excellent. Now you're seeing their production show up.
Final two questions for Coach over here to the right. Tim May. On3.com.
Yeah, Tim May, whatever. Do all of Cade Stover's catches go to the tight end category? Because obviously you split him out big time tonight. That was a big change-up. It didn't look like they were ready for that. Maybe I'm wrong, but what just led you to do that? And were you surprised how effective it was? And number two, were you a little worried about him when he went little tea kettle there that got hit?
Yeah, I was concerned. That was a tough hit. He's a tough player, and I'm proud of what Cade is becoming for this offense. He deserves everything he's getting. He's earning it all. He is a weapon for us in the pass game, as you can see. He's strong, he's powerful, but he's also getting after people in the run game, does a good job in protection. And he can do that. You can see that he can split out. He can come back into the backfield. He can line up as a tight end. He gets big in some of the bigger personnels. And anytime you have somebody that can do that, that's what the NFL is looking for, right? That's what we're all looking for, those versatile players that can do multiple things. And he's showing he can do that, and he's become a weapon for us.
And what tonight? What just did Wisconsin show you that would make that so effective?
No, I mean, we're constantly trying to find ways. We tried to do it last week, just the whole run-pass conflict. Yeah.
And final question, Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com.
You mentioned other guys stepping up behind Jair and JK tonight. Where did Tanner McAllister fit into that, and kind of the way he was maybe setting a tone defensively?
Yeah, he missed last week, and it was good to have him back in there. And then he had the pick early on in the game, and that was a huge deal. And then we were able to capitalize and go up 14-0. So his maturity, and he's played a lot of football. Not here, but he's played a lot of football, so that helps. It's a little bit of confidence when he's out there, especially when you have some young guys back there. And I talked to Ronnie Hickman early in the game just about how you got to help with these guys. You got to be poised back there, and you got to show them that calm that they need. And he was there for them, and I thought those guys really helped, especially with the younger players.
Great. Coach, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
All right, folks, we're going to bring in C.J. Stroud at the front podium. The 4 tables in the back, if we could clear them off, make sure there's not any computers on those tables. We've got Cade Stover, Tommy Eichenberg, Tanner McAllister, and I think Mayan Williams is back there. Got you right there. And Tommy, you want to just go right along there? Pardon me? I want the 4 of you guys to go to the back. There's 4 tables. You can each grab a table.
Triple B.
Louisa, you want to just hand it to anyone? Great. We'll open it up for CJ. We got Cameron Teague Robinson, The Athletic. Over here to the right, CJ.
CJ, right here. That first half, it just looked like you were able to distribute the ball all over the field to whether it was Cade, Emeka, Julian, Marvin. Just what's that like as a quarterback when wherever you look, you have somebody who's likely going to be open and is going to bring down the ball for you?
Right. First and foremost, I want to give all glory and praise to God. Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, just be able to be at this school, this great university, play with these great teammates. But like you said, I think in the first half we distributed the ball pretty well, had some good momentum coming out quick. That's something that we definitely wanted to do, and I think we built that chemistry with Cade, Emeka, and Marvin, and really everybody who touched the ball did a great job. But we built that chemistry in the offseason, so be able to do that. And then we even had some adversity in the first half too, kind of slowing down a little bit. Should have scored on the second to last drive, maybe even the last drive. But at the end of the day, I think that we bounced back from that, and it's good to get some of that early on in conference play, so we can have that feeling, of coming back even with adversity. So,
over to the left, Pat Murphy, 24/7 Sports.
CJ, what's it like to have 2 running backs that can put up numbers the way that Mayan and Trey have? And how does, if any way, does that change when one's in the game for you than the other?
Right. Both of them have been great I mean, not only just running the ball, but pass protection as well. So they spent a lot of time on that. But at the same time, I mean, as y'all can tell, they're towing the rock really well. But it starts up front. I mean, I always preach to my alignment, y'all the best players on this team. We don't move if y'all don't move, or we're not great if y'all aren't great. So I definitely think that they take that to heart every week. And this is a big-time challenge for us, knowing that Wisconsin was big and physical, and they wanted to. They said we couldn't run the ball, whatever the case may be, or they were going to stop the run, whatever the case may be. And they were a good team, but I feel like that was a challenge to us, and we wanted to step up to that. So mine and Trey were great, but I definitely think it starts with the O-line and tight ends blocking the front. Even the receivers did a great job blocking today.
Over to the right, CJ, Austin Ward, Rivals, 97.1 The Fan.
CJ, I could tell you weren't thrilled with my question. You might have missed my sarcasm, that your standard is so high that even if you miss a couple throws, that it seems like that's your off night. Do you, when you leave, will you think about the 5 touchdowns or a couple more that you maybe could have hit?
A little bit of both. I mean, working these plays, I mean, we work them so hard that you have to enjoy the win at the same time. But like you said, I mean, could always be better. I'm never going to play perfect, so y'all can get that in your head right now. I'm never going to play perfect. So that interception, I'll tell you, I heard Coach Day, it was my fault. I got to make the throw. They were in cloud coverage. I try to anticipate it early on, try to throw it before he broke, but I probably should have waited till he broke a little bit. I thought he was going to go at a higher angle, but Marvin did a great job with that route. I just got to make the throw better. So, and then I just kind of got irritated after that, and I got to get out my own head. So, but I mean, I think that's a good thing. Then we fought back. I think that's the most important thing. So, I'm never going to play perfect, never going to be perfect in life and in football or off the field. So, I'm not really worried about your question. It's cool. I like messing with you. Yeah, I guess. I mean, shoot, numbers are all right.
Okay, we'll go over to the deep left, CJ. Doug Lesmerises, Cleveland.com.
CJ, you guys came out in the first drive and hit a couple big pass plays right off the bat, being spread out. And it felt like that maybe opened up the run then, that you had them spread out with the formations, and then you ran on them. Can you just talk about that kind of balance to spread out a defense, and then maybe they're in conflict of they don't know whether to try to stop the run or the pass, and you guys are doing both?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that we definitely, I think it goes back to the offseason of dealing with Coach Mick, of being very balanced, being able to run the ball and throw the ball. And I think we're over like 250 in both aspects. So, I mean, when you can do that, man, it's amazing. It makes my job easier as well. So, I know last year we relied on drop back pass so much, and we did a great job at it. But now this year it just makes it more comfortable. I honestly got to be better with just handing the ball off and being more disciplined, and not kind of getting bored. So at the end of the day, we run the ball very well, but I got to be able to stay warm and stay engaged. So I'm not saying that I didn't do that. I can always be better. So I definitely think if we keep both aspects rolling well, then I think we'll be one of the best offenses in the country.
Over here to the right, Tim May on 3.com.
CJ, Cade Stover, who knew, right? I mean, well, you knew, but y'all splitting him out and stuff, got some real good mismatches there, it looked like, and stuff. And what has he just brought to the program, I mean, here the last couple of weeks, but especially tonight? I mean, they didn't seem to know how to handle it.
Yeah, I mean, Cade is definitely a Swiss Army knife. He can run, he can block, he can do really anything. So it's just amazing to see his work kind of pay off. And man, he's one of the first people that took me under his wing when I first got to school. So he's a better person than he is a football player. So I mean, I'm really proud of him. And I owed him for last week. I missed one-on-one today. That was kind of irritating, but I mean, he got 2. So. But we can always be better. He actually blamed himself on that, but I'm going to take the blame. So at the end of the day, I mean, we can always be better, and I think Cade is going to continue to be great. I'm super excited for him, super happy for him.
We've got time for a couple more for CJ. Over here to the left, Bill Bender, The Sporting News.
CJ, I think 10 of your first 15 plays went for 10 yards or more. You guys were really in a rhythm with that. How much of that was the script, or how much was execution? And when you guys are in a groove like that, I mean, what's it like in the huddle, or not in the huddle, just in general for you when you get going like that?
Right. I definitely think it's a mixture of everything. I mean, it starts in practice. I mean, practicing so hard. I mean, we practice so hard on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then clean it up on Thursday. So when you can put 2 great days in, I think that's definitely where it starts. But it's a mixture of everything. I mean, Coach Day did a great job with play calling with Coach Wilson. And then, I mean, like, it's our job to execute. And so, I mean, everybody was yelling, hoorah, an all-black game, but I think my job was just to lead the offense and tell them we just need to execute. Everybody calm down, let's execute, and just try to have fun. So I definitely think we did that, and we'll continue to build. So, I mean, if we can, like, keep the running and pass game so clean, and I think definitely the play call will be easier for Coach Day. Execution will be easier for us.
And final question right here, front row, Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
Oh, yeah, sound funny, bro.
No, it's a normal question.
All right.
4 weeks into this, and I know you're not going to say you played perfect and whatnot, but 4 weeks into your second year as a starting quarterback, just how do you feel like you're playing so far?
I mean, I don't really think that's my place to judge. Of course, I mean, I'm going to go listen to the coaches and what Coach Day, Coach Dennis, Coach Fish got to say, Coach Key, see what their feedback is. And, I mean, I think it's something that we do great at Ohio State. We don't look back. I mean, after our Sunday practice, it's like it is what it is. So, I mean, whoever I'm playing, we're winning. I don't really care. Like I said early on in the season, as long as we win, I'm cool. And I think the numbers show. I mean, the numbers prove it for themselves. I mean, I think that, but this is not just me. You know what I mean? That it's a combination of my linemen, my tight ends, my running backs, my receivers. I mean, our special teams, our defense, a little bit of everything. Just the hard work kind of paying off. So, I mean, if people think I'm playing good, cool. If they don't, cool. They hate it anyway. So, I mean, I'm blessed from God to be in this position. So,
great. CJ, thank you very much.
Y'all.
Thanks, buddy. Hey, can you talk to a radio guy?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Folks, we're going to bring Donovan Jackson up to the main podium now. Yes. And we will open up with questions. Over here to the left, Doug Lesmerises, Cleveland.com.
How much do you feel like you guys are moving the line of scrimmage in the run game and pushing them back and opening holes?
Well, we knew we had to, and during the week of preparation, we had to really think about how tough we wanted to be. You know, as an offensive line unit, you got to be tough, you got to be strong. So coming into the game, we knew we had some looks, we had some matchups we can take advantage of. And so all 5 guys, and rather all 11 guys on the offense, were clicking on all cylinders in the run game. But we knew there's a lot of stuff to improve on. You know, we had some success, but a lot of stuff to clean up on.
Over here to the right, Bill Landis, Rivals.
Hey, Donovan. You feel like you guys are starting to build some momentum as an offensive line. It just felt like from last week against Toledo to this week, you just kind of continued kind of, I don't know, knocking guys back, like Doug said, and kind of reestablishing a line of scrimmage for you guys. Do you feel like you're kind of building on top of things right now?
Right, you know, it just goes back to what Coach Day says, like keep stacking weeks. You know, we had some success early on, but we got to keep on going. We got to have competitive stamina, which means we got to keep on going every week. But we had some early success going on, but there's a lot of stuff to clean up on. So I'm looking forward to getting back to the film and getting back to work.
Over to the left, Lori Schmidt, Columbus Dispatch.
Speaking of things that Coach Day has said, he mentioned tonight that the energy before the game was something special that he knew, especially from Travion. Was there something that you saw in the locker room before the contest that told you this was going to be a good night for you guys?
Well, I'll say, especially in Travion's case, you know, he stepped in a major leadership role, and so he's letting his voice be heard, and he's telling the offensive line, like, look, like, we can dictate this game, like, we can get after it. And so having that voice of of one of our running backs just telling you, like, hey, man, like, I got y'all if you got me, is really pushed us to, I would say, go above and beyond on the field.
Over to the right, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Donovan, to be able to dominate, to control the line of scrimmage the way you did, first of all, what's that feeling like when you're just opening up holes and they're getting the second level every play?
Well, it's a very gratifying feeling, you know, moving a man from point A to point B. But, you know, doing it with your brothers is the most gratifying thing. You know, I may block one guy, but if all 5 of us on the offensive line are on the same page, the run doesn't hit. So having the ability to have success in the run game today was very special.
Touchdowns on all 6 first-half drives last week. You scored touchdowns on your first 4 drives tonight. Is it tiring scoring that many touchdowns in the first half?
It's not tiring at all, man. It just means we're going in the right direction. You know, we have success on the field, but like I said, there was a lot of stuff to clean up on. You know, luckily we have talented backs. We have a talented quarterback that makes us right. But as an offensive line unit, there's always room to grow.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Any more for Donovan? Donovan, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And folks in the back, if we can start to wrap up, please.